a step-by-step guide to adding recipes to MyFitnessPal. So first thing to do is open MyFitnessPal. MyFitnessPal will always open on the last page that you're on before you closed it. I've purposely put this on the dashboard because a lot of people use the dashboard to look at what they've got, and it's a familiar place for them to start. This morning I haven't yet added my breakfast. I have added a tea that I had, but I haven't added my breakfast. So if we go to, we can go to search foods, and for my breakfast I have the same thing just about every day. So I actually added it to my recipes because it makes it a lot easier than adding it each day. I actually have, if we go to my recipes, you'll see top one here, morning porridge. Now every morning I have 2 sachets of the Oat So Simple golden syrup one, and rather than adding milk for each sachet, I add oat milk to one and I add soya milk to the other. And therefore, because you've got 4 parts going into that, it's actually easier just to do it as a recipe, and then each morning I just click on the add and it logs it. Now if I wanted to have a different amount of that, let's say I've decided that I'm only going to have half of that, I can actually go in and change it, and let's say I only eat half of it because I have to go to work. I can just go in, and where it's got 1 serving, I could just put that to 0.5, and that would just mean that I'd had half of it. Obviously I didn't this morning, so we go back. So a lot of people seem to struggle with the My Recipes, and I think it does have a little bit of a mind of its own, but this is how I use it. So I go to more. You can click down here to where you've got recipes, meals and foods. Now here are all my recipes that I've got so far. They're ones that I've made that I thought, well, I might make that again, or it's got lots of ingredients, or even to the point where it's just my iron and vitamin. I thought I'd add that in. It's always there. I don't have to scroll right down to the list every day. In this case, what we're going to do though is create a recipe. So right at the bottom here, we've got create a recipe. Click that. Now you can add from the web. So if your recipe is like, I don't know, a Good Food Guide or a BBC Food one, you can actually import from there. It is a little bit clunky at times. I've only done it once, I'll admit, and then I actually went back in and entered it manually. I found it easier because I made a couple of changes and it was just easier. So in this case, we're going to enter ingredients manually. So you just click on that one. And now you give it a recipe name. So I know this might be Grantsyard chicken. Okay. Also happens to be my Instagram name and YouTube name, but that's by the by. Without the chicken, I mean. Servings. Now, this is up to you how you do it. You can do this so that if you think you're going to be making 4 servings or 1 serving. Now, what I actually do is I always do this as 1 serving, and I'll show you for why as we go along, but I find it a lot easier, and it doesn't confuse me if I want to have different amounts each time. So let's say you make a lasagna and there's 4 portions of it. You could go 4 servings. What I do is go 1, and then when it comes to actually logging it, I just use 0.25, 25% of it, because I might actually come back the next day when I've been training and I've got more calories to use, and I might go, oh, do you know what? I'm going to have half of it. And then I'll check the macros, see if I'm able to, and go, yep, brilliant, I'll do it. So therefore I do it as 1 serving. It makes it a lot easier adding it through. Also, you've got here bulk import ingredients. It generally doesn't work when I've tried it. And I looked at a lot of videos when I first started to use MyFitnessPal, and almost everyone was saying the same, that the bulk import bit was just a bit clunky. It does work sometimes, other times it's wrong, and you have to go back and re-edit. So for now, we're just going to go with recipe name, 1 serving, and then we click done. So we can then go next. And now it's adding ingredients. So let's say it's Grantsyard chicken, so we need to find the chicken. Now, if I put chicken in just as a search, do that, it's going to come up with all these different chicken, grilled chicken, chicken tenderloins. Now, if you can use the barcode function, it's great because you can actually just scan your ingredients as you go. But sadly, if you haven't paid the premium or you haven't been a member for, at least 6 months, I think when they did the cutoff, you're actually going to have to search. So you go chicken breast, skinless, and we'll try from that, see what that comes up with. So chicken breast, boneless, skinless, cooked. We don't want cooked. We want chicken breast, boneless, skinless. Yeah, that one looks all right. If I come down to this one here, it's in 100 grams. It's skinless. It's been verified. We'll use that one for now. So I'm happy with that. That's fine. I click the tick in the top. Now I need to add the next ingredient. If you'd click next back there, if I go back, if you click next, that sort of ends your recipe and then you have to go in and edit it again. But so if you click the plus, right, the next one, let's say, will be peppers. So I'll put in sweet pepper red. We'll search that one. So it'll come up with sweet red pepper. That's fine. That's done in ounces. You normally can go into these and actually look at what they are and change the servings. In this one, you can't. So you're going to have to start dividing by bits of 28 or ounces, which I'm not prepared to do. So we go down here. We've got red pepper raw. A lot of this is in ounces, by the way, because it's MyFitnessPal is international and a lot of the stuff added is American stuff anyway. But here we've got raw red sweet pepper, 100 grams. Well, we're not going to use 100 grams, but, or at least I don't in this recipe, but you can always go in and have a look, see if you can change that down to 1 gram, which helps. Then you can weigh the amount of pepper going into this whole recipe. Now, if that happens to be 87 grams, that's fine. We'll add that in. We tick it. So now we've got raw chicken and raw pepper. It's only coming up as raw, but that doesn't matter. We know what it is. Now, if at any point you realise that, oh, chicken, I've only added 100 grams and it should be, I don't know, a kilo, you can go back in. You can either put that as grams and do 1,000, put that as 100 grams and do 10 of them, and then just add it in like that. So now you've amended it. Let's say we've got one more ingredient. I don't know what would go well with, but maybe some onion. So onion. So you've got onion chopped. If you look through all of these, obviously there's the cups again because it's American, but even 100 grams, 40 calories. That's one verified, so that's pretty good. So you can load up on your onion. Let's say rather than 100 grams, you're using, we won't quite go a kilo. Let's say we use, again, 90 grams. Perfect. Save. Click the tick at the top. Now you've got Grantsyard's chicken. Now, that's probably not a great meal, but it is what it is. We want to confirm it now, so we're going to go to next. So we click on next. It shows what we've got here. So then we click the save. That saved the new recipe. Okay, that's cool. Now this is showing you at the top here the macros that you've got. If you were to eat this whole thing, 1,663 calories, hardly any carbs, not a lot of fat compared with the amount of protein. So there's your recipe. That's all done. You can go back there now. So if we head out back to the dashboard, like I've done, we can now go in as if we're going to add a food. So most of you will probably still add food from the dashboard. I always go to the diary to do it because then it saves me putting it in the wrong place and having to move it. So let's say we're having this for lunch. I'll add a food. I can now go to my recipes and I've got Grant's chicken. Now, if I'm going to eat the whole thing, boom, I just click the plus button and it's added. But actually, I'm only going to eat a quarter of it. Okay, so a quarter of that, as it's one serving at the moment, I just put 0.25, which obviously is a decimal quarter, 25%, save. That tells me what the portion is for the macros. You can also, if you're actually planning, you think, oh, I need to hit a certain amount of protein, this is dinner time and I've still got this amount to hit, you can actually just play with it a little bit. Remember, it's just percentages, so maybe 45%. It'll become harder to weigh it all out unless you've got a big bowl and scales and that. But 45% save, what's that give me? Oh, that gives me 104 grams, 0.3 grams of protein, spot on, boom. So it's sort of up to you what you do with that. I'm going to say for now it's 0.25. That gives me what I've got of it, and that I just need to move tick, and it's added. If we then go back here, have a look, it's added in there. Now, if for some reason you add something to the wrong part of MyFitnessPal and you go, oh, that should be dinner. Now, some people will just go, oh, that's all right, don't worry about it. Others will worry about it. And if you just actually hold down on it, it'll give you the option of deleting the entry or just moving. So you could actually just move that to dinner, and then that's your dinner sorted and you know what you're doing. That's about it, really. I hope that helps. If you've got any questions on it or anything like that, or anything else any of you need help with, just let me know. I'm happy to quickly go through it. Feel free to add any questions or comments below, and if not, visit my Instagram at Grantsyard.